For those of you who have listened to the Ed Till Show for many, many years, you know that divorce and the fallout for stepdads has been a very important and controversial topic on our radio show. This segment today is dedicated to a website dedicated to those men. Support for StepDads.com. This is I want to say the brainchild, but it really is the result of a veteran stepdad named Gerardo Campbell in 1995 when he married the pretty lady, and he became the stepfather to her two children, ages 10 and 14 at the time. Back in 1995, there was little, if any, resources or information or coaching available for stepdads. That is all different now. Go to the website, Stepdads, support for StepDads.com. There is a lot here, and I want you to just take your time. We're going to go through it because all kinds of resources are available for you, especially in the category of what it's like to be a father and what it's like to be a great husband. One of the things that goes neglected, I think, with stepdads in particular, and there is a bit of sexism, I think, involved here. It's not deliberate, but we just assume, and that's always a bad thing to do, but we just assume that stepdads can handle whatever comes their way. That somehow they're infallible, they're not subject to the stresses and the difficulties that any other father or any other man is in our society. They're treated in this artificially strong kind of institutional way. I think that's a better way of putting it. Treated like an institution instead of like a person who has real feelings for the children and also has real pain and anguish when a family comes apart. So support for stepdads is for you, stepdad, and let's go through some of it. Now, you get on the front page, and what you will see is first quite an in-depth discussion of divorce. Divorce is always going to be difficult for your kids. This is the thing that people, who are immersed in the difficulty of divorce sometimes don't have a good perspective on. If you learn how to handle your divorce, then the children will be better off. But you are going to be filled with anger. You are going to be filled with a broken heart, hurt. You go back and forth between feeling like you've lost almost all of your power somehow, and at the same time, you feel the pressure of divorce on you, and then you worry about the kids. Well, we believe, I think, as a society, everyone wants to do right by the children, regardless of how the adults may have made mistakes, had certain failings, whatever it is that tears the marriage apart. We really have to stay focused on the health, mental health, psychological health of the children. Now, let me take you to a page I find especially motivating if you are, in fact, a stepdad listening to me right now. It's a page of stepdad-only quotes. Let me just share one or two, and then you'll know that this is a great resource for you. There's more, but I really want to start with the heart. I want to start where everything begins. Being a stepfather. It takes a strong man to accept somebody else's children and step up to the plate that another man left on the table. That's from Ray Johnson, Ray Awesome. Another one. Thanks to my late stepdad, who taught me the most valuable lesson in life. Always invest in your family. All right, this is, you know what I mean? Now, we're starting to get to the core of what you're all about. As a stepfather, there's something special about you as a stepdad, and this is a website started by a veteran stepdad who knows exactly what you're going through and wants to help. Now, posting on the website sometimes is very therapeutic for folks. Browse these posts and some of the featured articles here, and I think they're really going to give you a better perspective. Here's one. I know it's tough for stepfathers, and you guys just went through this, but there is a reflection on grief and Father's Day. There is some beautiful stepdad poetry on Stepfather's Day. Wow, see, this is exactly, now you get the idea here, okay? For some gentlemen listening now, and some dudes and some guys, it sounds like the end of everything. It sounds like you worked your entire life to build a family. Now it's coming apart, and it's almost incalculable to you how you feel inside. It's very difficult to put into words. You don't really know who to blame for anything. You know it's a horrible situation, and now you're, I think, beginning to make progress, because blame and anger are two of the most destructive, reflexive emotions that we can be subject to. But support for StepDads.com is a place where you go to shed the burden of anger, to get rid of the ugly feelings that you're venting inside, and get down to your inspiration. Get down to who you really are. A beautiful piece that's on the postings that I'd like to share with you is called 7 Ways to Get Your Children's Obedience. And you know that one of the best ways to get kids to behave is for us to role model the proper behavior. Gerardo Campbell is the founder of this incredible website, and for those of you who are hearing about this for the first time today ever, I know you got to be thrilled by it, and I want you to go to the website while we're talking about it right here during the segment and follow with us. It's support for StepDads.com. That's support for StepDads.com. Being a great husband, I think, honestly, men, we take this for granted a bit. Women never take this for granted. There is an entire page on the site dedicated to how you can make yourself an even better and greater husband, and what women really find meaningful in that, and how you as a guy, you don't want to just be going through the motions. If you want your family to work, and you want your kids to love you, and you want everybody to be open and sharing an honest love in your household, then you have to take the step of leadership there. You have to be first. So go ahead and check out some of these incredible, inspirational pieces that will help you be a great husband. Now there's the Emporium. At the Emporium, you can always find cool stuff for your stepdad. Stepdads, it's kind of hard when you give shopping for them, do I get them just something straight up dad? Or should it carry that special recognition that this is my stepdad? I think for years we've used it as kind of a parenthetical phrase, right? I think the common belief was just kind of gloss over the step part of it, and let's just make it all sound the same. And I'm sure that was a valiant attempt in the 50s and 60s, but here we are, fast forward, where we much better understand today the sacrifice, the heartfelt emotions that go into being a stepdad. As I read to you earlier, and you'll find inspiration like this on the site, it's support for StepDads.com. Gerardo Campbell, a brilliant man, comes up with support for StepDads.com, and this is a terrific resource for you, so I hope you're going through it with me. But I do want to take a moment and say the special quality of a stepdad was written about, and I read it to you earlier. It's on the website. You're stepping up to the plate on behalf of someone else's children. That is a remarkable step, and it should go with much better recognition than it's been met with over the years. I think if there's one thing I'm proud to be involved in here, it is the recognition of who stepdads really are. They are special types of fathers, right? They are special heads of household. They're special men. They belong in a certain category of selflessness. They belong in a category where they're not the vain, narcissistic, those are not my children, it could never be the same. They are the opposite. They see the humanity in these children. They have a warm, rich heart, and now they have an incredible resource online. It's called support4stepdads.com. I couldn't thank Gerardo Campbell more for his fine work in bringing this about. But what I'm really excited about is that you, as a listener of the Ed Till Show who happen to be a stepdad, will now feel that there is someone, there is a group, there are people who appreciate specifically what you are all about, and they know what you're going through, and they want to give you support. Support4stepdads.com. That's support4stepdads.com. We are so happy that this came to you here on the Ed Till Show.